JBB's Final Thoughts, Episode 38, 8 Tips to Improve Your Video Instruction Game. Joe Bustillos here. Not long into this work-from-home era, I kicked back into my online learning teaching mode from teaching 6 years at Full Sail University and started posting instructional videos to my district YouTube channel. When I shared the links or info with my fellow teachers, one asked, "I would like to start making YouTube videos. Any suggestions?" Over the weeks, I've sat through quite a few Zoom meetings. There's a lot that we could learn about online video usage if we're at all serious about taking advantage of this remote learning communications challenge. First off, most of us aren't fond of our image on camera, which is pretty normal, but also very counterproductive if the point is to communicate and teach someone on the other end watching your video. Most of us who love teaching understand that it's not our subject matter expertise or some artificial measure that makes this job worth doing, but it's the feeling of connecting and helping another human being on their learning journey. That doesn't change whether you're doing one-to-one tutorial in the same room or presenting to thousands via satellite. The difference is, and this is something that I taught my video journalism students, you're trying to cram a reality, a visual reality where our field of vision is over 180 degrees into a rectangular frame that may be no bigger than your student's smartphone screen. That's a lot of information, a lot of communication that has to happen over a limited visual frame for a limited amount of time. It's just like when they tell salesmen that they have to smile when they talk to their customers on the phone. The same energy that's needed to effectively use this technology begins with your disposition as the teacher sharing information to your students via a YouTube video. You have to positively force the same focused energy that you would use if you were face-to-face with your student across these devices. Now that we're set on doing the best videos and not letting a little camera discomfort deter us, here are 8 tips to help you make better videos. Number 1. Lighting. The light needs to be directly in front of you and much brighter than normal. Yes, it's going to be shining brightly in your eyes. Overhead lighting is unflattering and usually not good enough. And by all means, please, for the love of all that is good, do not shoot with a bright light behind you, like the sun, unless you want your face in shadow on purpose, like some FBI identity hidden video. Bad lighting is boring. You don't have to get expensive studio lighting when a well-positioned desk lamp can do the trick. Bad lighting can be a non-verbal cue that you don't care or this isn't your best effort. Remember, whether justified or not, our students won't care what you're talking about if they sense that you don't care. Number 2, sound. You can get away with most built-in mics, but the room has to be absolutely silent, which might include the sound of your AC kicking in. And you certainly cannot have the TV or some conversation happening in the same room. Bad sound is actually worse than bad lighting. People lose interest far faster if they cannot hear you clearly than if they can't see you clearly. There cannot be any other sounds that might interfere with your voice or your narration. When I learned that I would be teaching online, I bought a high-quality microphone called a Heil PR40 that most podcasters use. One of the benefits of this microphone is that it picks up my voice very clearly when I'm speaking directly into it, but doesn't pick up a lot of room noise, so I don't have to use any sound dampening, etc., beyond the normal having a quiet room. Number 3, the background or frame. While your interest is entirely consumed by your face on camera or what your camera is pointing at, it's very important that everything that the camera sees, especially things at the edges of the screen or frame, are taken into account when you're shooting your video. Sure, your face is the focus, but eventually attention will be drawn to the trash can in the background or anything else that's in the frame that doesn't contribute to the story that you're trying to tell. I've seen adult students do video assignments where they didn't think to put away the ironing board or the laundry in the background, or worse. There is already video out there of reporters shooting from home and choosing to not wear office attire below the waist and getting caught. Don't let this happen to you. Again, if the background is a mess, it sends a nonverbal message that you don't care. Number 4, tripod. This isn't needed if you're using the webcam on your laptop or computer. But if you're using a smartphone or regular camera, invest in a tripod where you can adjust the height so that the camera stays at eye level or a bit higher and is stable. Leaning the camera or smartphone on something on a table generally forces the camera to shoot up your nose and have your head floating with a lot of ceiling in the frame. Not good. A small tripod, this one is for your iPhone, can be purchased for under $30 and is well worth it. Number 5, video editing. I edit my videos using software that comes free with my Mac called iMovie. There are similar programs on PCs. Even before I went full-time Mac, I preferred video editing on Macs because it was just simpler. If I'm doing a tutorial where I need to show something on my computer or iPad screen, then I use a program called ScreenFlow from Telestream. Alas, it's Mac only. I've been using ScreenFlow for over 10 years. It does more than just screen capture, but lets you edit the video so that you can zoom in on whatever you want the viewer to be watching. It's very powerful, and I'm editing this video using it. Number 6, music. Most of the music I use in my videos is from a royalty-free music catalog that I began buying over 10 years ago called Sonic Fire from Smart Sound. Please remember that copyright means that you have specific permission to use the songs from the copyright holder, or in that case, any other media. Just because you are not making money with the video doesn't matter. So make sure that to use royalty-free music or specific permission from the artist to use the work. YouTube does muddy the waters a bit because sometimes they have agreements with the record companies that makes using their music okay. But that can change and your video gets pulled. Play it safe and only use music that you have permission to use. Number 7, teleprompter. If you're working from a script, whether it's just bullet points or more, you'll want to use a teleprompter. If you have an iPad or tablet, you can make one very cheaply, and they can really help your video look all the more professional. I'll include links to other DIY teleprompter setups. Number 8, camera. You notice that I didn't mention the camera until now. Most webcams get the job done. I use an older Logitech C615. The new hotness before all this work from home stuff started was the Logitech Brio that shoots 4K, but is currently unavailable from Amazon or directly from Logitech. It also costs $200. I'm thinking of upgrading to using one of my DSLRs, which will require that I upgrade my teleprompter, etc., etc. I hope that this helps. I will have links to several resources on the use of video for teaching and learning from the EduBlog folks, about video streaming from home by the Daily Tech News podcast folks, and an array of DIY videos on how to make your own teleprompter. Speaking of DIY, if you could do me a favor and subscribe to either my blog or to my YouTube channel, that would be grand. If you found this on Facebook and clicked the link to my blog to watch this, please scroll to the right of the blog page and find the black followjoebustillos.com via email box, enter your email address, and click the follow button. Then whenever I post a blog post, you'll get a message in your email inbox. If you are a WordPress user, you can scroll down to the blue followjoebustillos.com button, and my blog will be added to the blogs that you follow when you are using your WordPress app. If you just want the video podcast, your best option is to follow me via YouTube. Click the subscribe button and the little bell icon. Then you'll get an email message from YouTube whenever I post a new video podcast. If you're old school and want to subscribe to the audio podcast, you will find the links to Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and good old RSS on the blog page where you found this podcast. Alas, thanks to Facebook's precious little algorithm, it's not enough to be my friend on Facebook. You may or may not see the link to my podcast when they're posted because Facebook is just special that way. So, if you're interested in getting these podcasts when they come out, it works best if you either subscribe to my blog or to my YouTube channel or via your pod-catching application, or all of them. Enjoy!